So we're just going to wait a few minutes for everyone to filter through. Okay, great. So hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Emma, and I'm the Marcom and PR Manager at Taoglas. So today's webinar is preparing public safety for the 3G sunset and the dawn of 5G. We're going to run through how you can future-proof your fleets for always-on connectivity. So today we'll be joined by Jeff Clark, Taoglas's Director of Public Safety North America. We'll also be joined by Tim Dolan, Vice President of North American Sales at Taoglas. And last but certainly not least, we have a very special guest speaker, Mike Gambrell, SLED Vertical Alliance Manager, SYNNEX, and retired Police Chief of Greenville. So before I pass you over to our first speaker of the day, I'm going to run through some housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded, and we'll share a link to view the on-demand recording when the webinar is ended. Additionally, we have set time aside for a Q&A, so if you do have a question, please submit it via the Q&A box at the end of the webinar. So our first speaker today is Taoglas's VP of North American Sales, Tim Dolan. So now I'm going to pass you over to Tim.
Thank you very much, Emma. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Tim Dolan. I'm the Vice President of North American Sales for Taoglas, and I have proudly been at Taoglas for 11 years now. For the agenda for today, we're going to talk about the 3G sunset and why it matters in public safety. Right now, if we're talking baseball terms, it is the 9th inning, and it's the top of the 9th because Verizon and AT&T are talking about sunsetting, or have already said they'll be sunsetting in February of 2022. So we'll get into that. Then we'll have Mike Gambrell talk about the hidden impact of 5G on public safety operations, as well as public safety communications evolution. And then Jeff Clark will jump into how to future-proof the public safety vehicles, from 3G to not only 4G, but make it 4G, 5G compliant so you don't have to pay the extra costs there. And then we'll talk about the key takeaways, and then we'll have a Q&A afterwards. So I'd like to introduce Jeff Clark. Jeff has been with Taoglas for a year now. He's our Director of Public Safety Sales in North America, and we're very happy to have somebody so experienced in this market working for Taoglas. He's been in the industry, or the telecommunications industry, for 15 years, but the last 6 years have really been concentrated on public safety and government relations. He'll be the person driving the business development for Taoglas. So if you ever have any questions whatsoever, please just reach out to Jeff by email or by phone. And without further ado, I will hand it over to Jeff Clark.
Well, thanks for the warm introduction, Tim. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. As Tim mentioned, my name's Jeff Clark, and I've recently taken over the role as Director of Public Safety North America for Taoglas. I'll be driving the business development of Taoglas's portfolio of world-class public safety antennas. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those after our presentation today, as he said, reach out to me by phone or email, and I'll be glad to discuss it with you. With that being said, let's kick off the presentation today. As we all know, 5G is being rolled out worldwide. And what that means is cellular providers are having to make room to accommodate the increased bandwidth demand. So to do that, they're freeing up as much bandwidth as possible to accommodate the demand, including data requirements and even faster speeds. To accomplish this, many of them are retiring 3G networks in favor of 4G networks. In fact, by 2025, more than 55 2 and 3G networks will be closed. And that's quite a bit. These changes are going to affect the availability and reliability of public safety devices and services. more and more as time goes by, they will also include CDMA and even LTE. In the US, for example, AT&T plans to shut down its 3G network in early 22. Verizon will follow, ending 3G service for government customers and other users by the end of 22 as well. Now that's just around the corner. Is your fleet ready for that? So the 3G sunset's one thing, but what are the other advantages of implementing a 5G public safety strategy now rather than later? Not only would you be safeguarding your fleet from the sunset of 3G, but you'll also be paving the way for new incredible 5G technologies. These technologies will have the potential to increase first responder safety, improve transparency, and create real-time actionable data. For example, with 3G, you don't really have the ability for dependable streaming video. There's not enough bandwidth to do that with 3G. What's really pushing the move to 5G for public safety is the video on the cars, the body cams, and what have you. Moving to 5G will instantaneously make everyone safer. I could go into a lot more detail about the 5G and how it's going to push the public safety forward, but we have a very gifted public speaker with us today, Mike Gambrell, who will go into further detail on that. So with that, I'll pass it over to Mike. Take it away, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Tim, as well, for inviting me to be a part of this very deep dive, you might say, into the benefits of 5G and how the sunsetting of 3G is really upon us now, like you was talking about, Jeff. So for me, I work with SYNNEX. I am over our state and local government effort. My previous career, 30 years in law enforcement, retired police chief, like Emma said in the beginning, graduated FBI National Academy back in 07. Am an adjunct professor at a local university here in South Carolina for criminal justice. So those are my credentials I bring. I've been in this side of the business for 6 years now. Have really partnered with Taoglas here, with many other vendors, and being able to bring vendors together for full solutions to be able to actually solve the problems, because really that's what we're trying to do here. When we're talking about me as a former end user, what was I trying to do? I was trying to solve problems and enhance my officers' safety, enhance the quality of life for the citizens within my community by actually integrating technology that was going to bring it really to the next level in the offering of our services. When we're talking about state and local government, public safety, from a former end user's standpoint, I can tell you this. I leaned on technology to be able to provide that transformation. That's a common word that we're hearing in this day and time: digital transformation. All the big data that is coming in, that's being generated by public safety. The competition between cities, in this day and time for citizenry and visitors to their cities. So being able to offer this, is tremendous, in this day and time. When I talk about public safety, really, I talk about, a successful, safe city solution. We have heard community policing, through the protest of 2020. What did we hear? We heard greater transparency, greater accountability, and a lot of that is performed from a public safety side with connectivity and being able to take community policing to the next level, and be able to have the technology at your fingertips to be able to enhance those efforts is going to be tremendous, you know, in this day and time and moving forward. And really, we talk about that collaboration, that partnership, you know, public-private partnerships, being able to bring in full smart city solutions, you know, in founding it as safe city. You know, that's huge, you know, in this day and time, you know, as we move forward. You know, I typically talk about it relative to, there's 5 pillars of smart city, and the foundational pillar should be the safety and security pillar of smart city. Because think about it, if your city is even perceived as being unsafe, you'll never be able to build out a full smart city solution. And so what I'm going to share over these next 3 slides is important technology that is needed in this day and time, not a want, but a need in this day and time to provide that connectivity. So in this first one, what are we trying to accomplish here? We're trying to accomplish the integration of technology within a first responder vehicle. So, I mean, this could be a police car, it could be an ambulance, it could be a fire truck, but being able to incorporate technology in there that is going to enhance the first responders' lives, enhance their abilities to serve the citizens, and then provide technology that the citizens will be able to use and enhance their quality of life in living in the communities across our nation. So as I talk about this, I want to emphasize, you know, just a few different parts of the puzzle here. You imagine this as you know, as a huge puzzle. You know, in marketing they call it the bubble icons. You know, so you'll see bubble icons, you know, relative to you know, your in-car cameras and your ruggedized computers, you know, and some of the other technology that's in here. But let me begin by saying that the foundational component is, you know, a ruggedized computer or tablet sitting in a patrol car. And I want to take you back in time, back to 1984, when I first got involved in law enforcement. Everything was handwritten, you know. So I had my pen and paper, and it was carbon copies relative to an incident report. But what's important in this day and time is paperless record systems. So therefore, I take that ruggedized computer, and if it's just sitting there, like I said, without any connectivity, it does me no good. But being able to bring in a gateway device, you know, as you see down in the bottom of this diagram, the carriers, chosen carriers in there, and then being able to bring in a Taoglas antennas, you have reliable and dependable connectivity. Because what we're trying to do is put together a solution that is going to provide a mobile office on wheels with emergency equipment on top of it. When we talk about that in this day and time, relative to those paperless record systems, now that I've got that connectivity, I can type an incident report. So just say Jeff is my sergeant, then I type an incident report. Send it to my sergeant. Jeff looks at it and says, "Oh, Mike, you might need to make some changes here." So he sends it back to me. I make some changes. Once he signs off on it, then we'll use Tim as our records manager there. It goes over to Tim. There you have the paperless record system. Placing software in with the hardware, being able to have that connected solution like I talked about earlier is important in this day and time. And 5G is only going to take it to the next level as far as that reliability and dependability. Think about it too from 1984. Once again, if I'm writing a citation, if I'm making a traffic stop, then I've got to use my pen and paper. And I'll tell you this, back then, and it's still used, you know, today, there is still handwritten traffic citations being issued today. And if if you take that, then there's 4 copies of it. I have to lift up the top 2 copies and write down all the information relative to your driver's license, to the offender's driver's license, such as date of birth and height and weight, and all of that critical information. So now today, I can have this same connected solution that I talked about. I can approach the offender. I can obtain the driver's license, obtain the registration. Those have barcodes on it. I can come back to my patrol car. I can scan it in, automatically populates all of that information. And then through eCitation software, that puts it into the system. So enhanced efforts for the officer as well as the judicial system in the prosecution of that case. But let's look at the differences of a traffic stop of 1984 versus now. Back then, only thing I had was a radio. So being able to pick up the radio and call in. If I performed a traffic stop when I first came into law enforcement during that time, I seen the offense. I came up behind the patrol car. I came up behind the offender in my patrol car, initiated the emergency equipment, made the traffic stop. Both cars come to rest. I approach the vehicle. An unknown situation. I don't know what I'm walking into. In this day and time, with that technology that I have, this is how they're performed. Is I see the offense, I move in behind the vehicle, I don't apply my emergency equipment, I actually type in the tag number for the offender. That gives me a readout, because back to what we were just talking about, connectivity. Having that connectivity allows me to be connected to NCIC, the National Crime Information Computer, being able to receive all of the needed information from NCIC, such as that vehicle, the registered owner of that vehicle is wanted for murder. That vehicle, the license plate is suspended because of a previous DUI. That vehicle is wanted in an armed robbery. So if it's one of those what we call in law enforcement Part 1 type crimes, your more serious crimes, then I can perform a felony traffic stop. So I can call, say Jeff's my partner, I can call him over the radio or shoot him a message across my computer that's in the car and say, hey Jeff, right over here, we're going to perform a felony car stop. Once Jeff gets there, then that's when I apply the emergency equipment and have the offender, come back to me. Because let me tell you this, in reference to officer hurt or killed in the line of duty, most common types of calls is traffic stops and domestic violence responses. And you can check, the numbers there and see that, that I'm right. So being able to look at this from that perspective and being able to integrate this technology, we now have armed those officers with great intel before they make that traffic stop. So say it wasn't one of those major offenses, and I'm just making the traffic stop. Now I'm able to have all that information in my head, knowing a lot more of what I'm walking into about the registered owner of that vehicle, before I apply the emergency equipment, make the both cars come to arrest, and I approach the vehicle. Now I can, like we was talking about previously, be able to get that driver's license and registration, automatically populating all of that into the software. I'm just having to add the type of offense, the date, the court date in there. Very minimal task on my part, and it's minimizing the time that I'm on that traffic stop. So it enhances my life as a law enforcement officer by having that intel and being able to minimize my time involved in that, freeing the officer up for other more important assignments in moving forward. So just wanted to share that with you in reference to the different types of integration of technology on how that is, assisting in this day and time. The communication, just so you'll have it in your head, it enhances communication. It enhances that time I was talking about. It enhances, your information accessibility. It enhances officer safety, reducing that risk, like I talked about. The job satisfaction. Think about this, in this day and time when we're recruiting as into first responders, then the officers and deputies that we're bringing in really grew up with computers, grew up with the phone, grew up with computers. So being able to place those computers in the patrol car and have that connectivity really enhances, the lives of law enforcement, and really fire and EMS. I don't want to leave them out because it really enhances that ability by having that connectivity and having some of that hardware in their hands that they've been accustomed to growing up with. I wanted to throw this slide in just so you know, from an IoT perspective. We hear that so often in this day and time. Your mayors and council are using that. Hey, we want smart city IoT solutions. So the police chief, the sheriff, the fire chief, the public works director, everybody is hearing this, but exactly how do we fit in? We fit in from the whole safe city concept, like I talked about before, establishing that first before you broaden it out into a full smart city solution. So being able to look at it from the 5G side, relative to that the sunset of 3G coming on, with 5G, it's going to give us better latency. It's going to give us better connectivity. It's going to allow us to push videos back and forth, being able to, like I'm about to talk about here. And there's so many different advantages that 5G is going to bring, but overall, it's that better connectivity that we're talking about. And if you start thinking about it from a connectivity standpoint, in that slide that I talked about previously, with mobility within a patrol car or first responder vehicle, it is so important in this day and time. It could mean the difference between an officer going home at night and not going home at night. And so that's something really to think about and be proactive about instead of reactive in reference to providing the best technology and the best connectivity for the officers on the street. When we talk about, hey, here's hardware that we're also working with. So I call the surveillance cameras, the fixed eyes in the sky, the drones, the moving eyes in the sky, and the body worn and in-car cameras coming from that patrol car that I showed initially. Those are your data drivers. Where do they come? They stream into a command center. So, in law enforcement, we talk about that as a real-time crime center, emergency operations center, state fusion centers. Those are some different applications that you can utilize this type of technology. In Greenville, I had what started to be 90 surveillance cameras, public safety camera system, cameras in public spaces in our downtown area, which grew to 220, before my retirement. And having these cameras stream back into our E911 center enhanced our abilities, and also enhanced our abilities if we activate our emergency operations center. So, when you have this connectivity in the patrol car, if I'm the commander and Jeff is the officer out on the street, then say that we have activated the emergency operations center over a train derailment. With that train derailment, I have cars on their side. I have fluid leaking out of some of the cars. As we all know it, there's placards on the side of those that are containing these chemicals. And so now Jeff can get his drone out, fly it over, don't have to put himself in harm's way. Once again, we're talking about officer safety here. Fly it over and be able to stream that back to me at the command center, and be able to stream it to other officers that's connected with that, with the technology that I'm talking about, in their patrol cars over their actual computers in their patrol cars. Another way, let's reverse it around a little bit, and those public safety cameras that are there. Another enhancement is by having connectivity within the patrol car back to those cameras. I now, if I'm responding to a scene, I can pull up some of these cameras and actually see what's happening on the scene before my arrival. So, it's huge in this day and time on any type of way that we can enhance officer safety to be able to integrate that appropriate technology. And so I can see it as well as the dispatchers, back in our E911 center, being able to see those cameras and be able to determine what's occurring. It can actually be utilized in call response too. Once again, I've got that connectivity in the patrol car. I've got these cameras, these surveillance cameras in place. I am able to actually call number. So say if I'm a citizen downtown, I'm near the bus station in a downtown setting. I call dispatch 911 and say, hey, I'm watching a guy break into a vehicle right here beside the bus station. The dispatcher is able, say Jeff is the responding officer, the dispatcher is able to call Jeff on the radio and have him start his response to the bus station. The dispatcher is also able to pull up the camera. Jeff is also able to pull up the camera that's right there at the bus station, being able to see the individual. Hey, now I can see this individual. The dispatcher's relaying to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, this guy is wearing, a white shirt, blue jeans, grabbed something out of the vehicle and is now running up the street towards Main Street. Jeff's able to apprehend that person, but then we've also got the video to be able to arrest and prosecute that individual as well. So those are just some of the technologies, that fit in with it. The last one I want to talk about is here we have all these data drivers. I've talked about them, the in-car cameras, the body-worn cameras, the ruggedized computers and tablets, officers being able to take those tablets outside the patrol car to perform essential functions, the drones, the moving eyes in the sky, the surveillance cameras, the fixed eyes in the sky. But you got to be able to, I referred to this when I first started out from talking about digital transformation, all the big data that's coming in, you got to be able to store it, you got to be able to secure it, and you got to be able to analyze it from the whole artificial intelligence standpoint. So being able to offer those as, full solutions is important in this day and time, especially when you start talking about, the smart city IoT type solutions. And this is really where 5G, is taking us, being able to empower our situational awareness from a law enforcement standpoint, and be able to offer that proper storage, offer the proper cybersecurity, so we don't end up like the city of Atlanta, about a year and a half ago, where it was a ransomware situation and they lost all of their in-car camera video for prosecution. We surely don't want that. We want to be proactive. We want to be able to provide reliable and dependable solutions, and that's what Taoglas offers, is being able to be a key piece in the puzzle that empowers you relative to the connectivity in the patrol car, because we don't want, main thing here is we don't want a situation where the lack of connectivity, meant the difference between an officer surviving and not surviving. And so that is, what Taoglas believes. It is in offering their solutions as being reliable and dependable, being able to, connect it with those gateway devices devices, with the chosen carriers, and be able to power up that ruggedized computer or tablet, clamshell or tablet solution that is in the patrol car. So I thank you for your time today. I know that your time is valuable, but I want to turn it back over to Tim and Jeff here so they can run through some of the Taoglas solutions.
Mike, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate you being a part of this, as always, and we appreciate your professionalism. Now that we've run through the 3G sunset, what it is, why it's coming, and the opportunities it's going to bring with 5G technology, let's look at how we can future-proof public safety fleets. These next couple of slides are going to give you an idea of the breadth of the public safety products that Taoglas offers. I'm going to run through how and why they're better than the other available antennas on the market, and we'll move on from there. Taoglas offers a high-performance ruggedized antenna set that support all 4G and 5G bands, as well as mission-critical IoT solutions, including band 71 at 600 megahertz, all the way up to Wi-Fi 6 and high-precision multi-band GNSS. Flexibility also frees up public safety agencies to change operators without the expense of changing antennas every time. The Guardian MA963 series. The Guardian series, we have a wide variety from a 4-in-1 antenna, as you see here, all the way up to a 17-in-1. The Guardian is the next generation combination antenna set. The world's first panel antenna designed for IoT gateway and router devices with multiple wireless technologies included. It delivers a powerful MIMO antenna technology for both LTE, sub-6 gigahertz, 5G bands covering all the way from 6 megahertz to 6 gig. This antenna is designed for LTE bands worldwide, including 3G and 2G fallback if needed, for access points, terminals, and routers. CAD-M1 and NB-IoT devices, and recently introduced 600 megahertz extend LTE band 71 that are also covered. This wideband enables designers to cover a wide range of technologies by installing a single antenna, not multiples, not multiple holes in the roof, if you will. It's a heavy-duty, fully IP67 waterproof external M2M antenna available in both wall and adhesive mount versions. Next antenna, please. The Synergy series is a portfolio of the next generation permanent mount combination antennas. They work with the latest 5G and 4G routers, as we mentioned before, and they're ideal for public safety applications that require highly sophisticated antennas for real HD video streaming and next level OEM automotive connectivity. They can support up to 11-in-1 in a single antenna housing with options of 4 5G, 4G antennas, 6 Wi-Fi antennas, and 1 GNS GPS antenna. Next antenna, please. The Raptor 3, the MA1270 and 1280 series. This is our shark fin style combination antenna that is also designed to work with the latest router technologies. They combine 2-cell, 2 Wi-Fi, and the GPS GLONASS Beidou system as well. We have also included an LMR radio system from a UHF to a 7,800 megahertz, and also allow the AM/FM good time radio to stay with the officers as needed. A lot of officers prefer that. It's a small, robust, UV resistant finish. As I mentioned, it's IP67 waterproof enclosure, easy to install, 3/4 inch hole, and in most SUV applications, it fits right into the factory hole as well. Cables and connectors can be customized anywhere from 3 to 6 to 7 meters, depending on what's needed for the application. Next antenna, please. This is our Pantheon series. It's also, two 4G, 5G LTE and two dual band Wi-Fi MIMO connections as well. We include the GPS as the fifth cable on this. This gives excellent isolation between embedded antennas. It's robust, UV resistant. Again, IP67 rated waterproof enclosure. The cables are low loss up to 10 meters. And you can also customize the connectors and whip with this as well. This is a case study that Innova Robotics had sent to us. They used this Pantheon antenna, and you can kind of get a sense of just how wide this antenna is used across the country, from this type of a robot to LPR cameras and the like. If you just take a look at the ruggedness of this product, it kind of shows the value that we add with this antenna. Next slide, please. Now we kind of want to go over some of the takeaways from today. 5G being rolled out worldwide, meaning the cell providers are going to have to make room for the additional bandwidth demand. They're retiring the 3G networks in favor of 4G. In the US, like we said, AT&T is going to shut down the 3G network in early 22, with Verizon following shortly after that by the end of 22. So that kind of gives us a timeline to take action, as Mike had said. These changes are going to increasingly affect the availability and reliability of our public safety devices. So again, making the decision to move forward now with a 5G solution is extremely important. Where timelessness and accuracy of information directly influence life and death, whether the officer is going to come home at night or not, reliable connectivity in a first responder vehicle is absolutely essential to enhance the routine tasks to the more demanding tasks for quicker and easier services.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, can I interject one thing here too?
Absolutely.
When we're talking about these types of technologies, and I know we have some end users that's on in the audience today, and the first thing you're going to face is from your mayor and council, well, why do you need this technology? Well, I can tell you one big one, right here, and you kind of jarred my memory there, Jeff, with these bullet points, is when you go into to mayor and council to sell this connectivity in a first responder vehicle, like I said, police, fire, and EMS, being able to walk into council and say, mayor and council, I can reduce response times with connectivity in my emergency vehicles. And they're going to say, what do you mean? Well, if I have this connectivity in my first responder vehicles, I'm keeping my officers, my firefighters, my paramedics, I'm keeping them out in the field. No longer, back to 1984, do I have to leave my patrol beat, come back to the law enforcement center, and I'm there when the emergency call comes into my beat, and it takes me longer to get there. By establishing this mobile office on wheels with emergency equipment on top of it and this connectivity, I'm keeping the officer in their beat, so I'm enhancing response times. Do you not believe that that is huge for a council member, for their constituents? Now they can proudly stick out their chest and say, hey, during my time on council, I enhanced response times for first responders in the city, thus enhancing the quality of life for all the citizens that I served. So I just wanted to interject that because I know we've got some end users in the audience, and that's a key way to present it relative to this type of technology.
Absolutely. Thank you for discussing that. It goes right into this next bullet point, where the advantages of implementing the 5G strategy now include better safety, improved transparency, and again, real-time actionable information. As we've seen it far too often in the last year or so, you know, that actionable information and transparency is extremely important. So bottom line, you know, Taoglas is going to, you know, future-proof your products because we support both 4 and 5G technology. This flexibility also frees up the public safety agencies to again, change operators without changing antennas. If you do that, it can be quite costly. So we're kind of providing a way for you to eliminate that and keep moving forward. So with that, I'm going to pass this back over to Emma for any questions that have popped up. And
Perfect.
again,
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So I know there was one question that actually, Tim, you got asked. So I wonder if you want to put that forward to the speakers.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a lot of partners on the call as well. And Jeff, you have extensive experience in the past selling solutions into first responders and public safety. So you've sold Cradlepoint and Sierra Wireless and Panasonic Toughbooks. You've also sold many different antenna vendors into the accounts. Now that you're here at Taoglas, what do you see as some of the bigger differentiators out there that some of the partners can really go out and talk to the end customers about Taoglas?
Well, that's a great question, Tim. You know, first of all, the antenna performance is outstanding. It's you know, it's really second to none. I've seen a lot of different instances where there was poor performance in certain areas. And we add one of the Taoglas antennas and it changes the game for the agency. You know, a second point would be the professionalism of our team. Our entire organization is willing to help, and the idea of giving, you know, the partners the best solutions so they don't have to worry about antennas, right? We make the easy button for them to, you know, all they do is put together a solution with the devices and say, hey, what kind of antenna should we use here? And then we're able to go and make their job easy. And they know that when they present our antennas, they know they have an outstanding chance to win the business. And I think that's key for everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So there's actually another one in here for you, Jeff. It's referring back to your slide on the Raptor 3. You mentioned you do UHF and 7/800. Is there a way to do VHF as well?
That's a very good question also, because as we know, all three of those, you know, different band ranges are in use. We are in the process of developing that. When I came on board, all we had was the UHF offering. But since I've been here, we have developed the 7/800 offering to go with the Raptor, and in short order we will have the VHF as well, and we're looking to incorporate a tri-band option, so if they have multiple radios in the vehicle, then we can handle that as well.
Excellent. Okay, the next question in is one for you, Mike. So it's, what is the foundational technology solution for electronic transmissions within a patrol vehicle?
Yeah, I touched on it a little bit earlier, you know, in reference to, you know, it being that ruggedized computer or tablet, you know, that these officers have grown up with. But, you know, overriding is the overall connectivity, you know, so I talked a little bit about the fact that, okay, if I've just got that computer sitting in a patrol car, I really don't have anything. So having that connectivity, and I'll give you another example, you know, for the audience in answering that question. If I am responding to a domestic violence issue, and remember I said this earlier, is traffic stops, domestic violence incidents, top two categories relative to officers being hurt or killed in the line of duty. So now I've got computer-aided dispatch software on my computer. And so therefore I'm able to see the call. So remember back in 1984, all I had was the radio. So I just get, then I got a call saying, hey, there's a domestic violence incident. It's at such and such location, respond. Now, not only do I receive it via radio, I receive it across my computer on computer-aided dispatch. That gives me the call history of that location. So now I can see, hey, during my response, we've been there 5 different times. 4 of those times, we actually, the male was the aggressor. One of those 4 times, the male had a gun. So that's enhancing my abilities, as from a safety perspective, relative to my response. I didn't have that before, and so now with 5G and the connectivity that Taoglas is offering here as a key ingredient to the puzzle, then I have that reliable and dependable technology that's going to be there for me to obtain this type of information during my call response. So I have all of this knowledge walking into to the scene to be able to handle it in a much better fashion than I did before.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I don't think there are any more questions that have come through, or if there's any that we haven't gotten to now, we'll certainly follow up on. So I just want to say thank you so much to all of our speakers for sharing your tremendous knowledge and expertise. If you enjoy this webinar, there is the opportunity to see some more amazing speakers in action on June the 9th. We'll have an upcoming webinar on navigating the best integration and certification practices for your cellular IoT device. So we're working with 2 incredible partners on that, Sierra Wireless and Sony Semiconductor Israel. So if you are registered, you can, or if you are interested, you can register on our website at taoglas.com. And that's all there is today. So thank you so much for joining today's webinar. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to get in touch with us via our website or by reaching out to Jeff. His details are on the slide. So thank you so much again, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.